Okay, guys, look, I have a confession to make about my art. I've been drawing for years now, on and off, not really consistent, not really focused or aimed in any form or fashion. But in my opinion, I think I make decent art, I would say. I would say that my art is likable, at least. I like to say that I can draw things that I see. I'd like to say I can draw things that I want to draw for the most part, at least. I am not the best at drawing from imagination. I'm not the best at, you know, just drawing things on a whim. If you said to draw, if you told me to draw a lion right now with no reference, I probably wouldn't be able to do it. However, if you give me something to look at, you give me a reference, and you tell me to draw it, I'm pretty sure I can copy it and put it on paper. Now, the reason I'm making this video is because I never really practiced art ever. Like, I never really slow down and do the sketches you're supposed to do every day. I don't draw every single day. I don't, again, I don't practice drawing every single day. Now, is that normal? I don't really know. I think there's a lot of people who can do that. They can just go and pick up a pen and draw what they see. However, I think that there's a certain level that you cap at when you don't practice every single day, which is only being able to draw what you see. I watch you guys draw all the time that here on YouTube or in other places that are amazing at drawing things from their imagination and piecing different references together to make their own pictures and just doing things that takes a certain skill set as well, which to a degree I can do some of it. I can piece pictures together and create my own. However, without a reference, I'd like to say that I probably wouldn't be the best artist in the world for sure. And so I wanted to make this video because no one's perfect, no one's doing everything, and you should still create at the level at which you can create. And you should do the most that you could do, or the most that you can do at all times. I have a sketchbook. I even have different folders in my Procreate app where I've spent time sketching. However, I know that I don't spend 1,000th of my time doing it. The last sketch that I probably did was a month and a half ago, and it was because I was forcing myself to do it because I saw a video by another artist that said that you need to be doing gesture drawings for an hour a day. And so I did it for 20 minutes and I decided this is stupid. I'm not doing this. I honestly suck at gesture drawing, in my opinion. I don't even think that is something that you can suck at, but somehow when I do them, I hate them. They don't look anything like they're supposed to. I draw very rigid when it comes to stuff like that. It feels very stick like. And I've noticed that no matter how bad I draw gestures and these different methods that artists use, it doesn't affect my art really at all. Because I'm sure many of you listening to this right now probably think that I practice all the time. When honestly, like I said before, I can't tell you the last time I practiced. For me, I live by a certain set of principles, which I'll get into in another video, but one of those principles is draw what you see, not what you think should be there. And so when I am drawing and when I am looking at references, I don't try to make up what should or should not be in the picture. I just draw what I see, and what I see is typically correct because it's created by fact or it's a real picture 99% of the time. And so when I draw certain things, it comes out realistic because I'm drawing the real. I try to make it look as realistic as possible by just drawing what I'm seeing instead of making up what I think should be there. Now, one thing I do notice about not practicing is that I definitely have to draw full pieces more often if I want to keep the skill set active and if I want to keep things fresh and if I don't want to feel like I have never picked up a pen in my life. So for me, I tend to do a lot of art pieces pretty much back to back to back, where a lot of artists they'll take weeks in between different art pieces, and for me, that is my practice. A lot of my line work, a lot of my sketching, a lot of my coloring, a lot of my layers, doing shadows, highlights. I'm practicing them in the next piece. So I never really have to take time to practice individually or at a different time, if that makes sense. A lot of my practice just comes from me doing a lot of work a lot of the time. And honestly, that helps out so much more and it takes so much less time and I get so much more done. I'm able to finish 11 pieces like I did in February, which here in March, I'm definitely not going to do that simply because one of the month's pretty much over with and I've just had a lot of life going on this month. And so I drew a lot less, but I did get some stuff done. I got a few pieces done here and there, but for the most part, it wasn't anything close to what February was. In February, I was really able to hone my skill set a lot. Simply, like I said before, just drawing back to back to back to back. Where here in March, I do feel a little uneasy at drawing. Sometimes I don't have as much confidence in certain lines. I don't have as much confidence in the coloring I'm doing. And it's simply because I've technically taken off for a period of time. And that's the downfall of not practicing every single day. So I'm making this video really for the artist that is just for some reason talented or has this gift that for whatever reason they can take what they see in their brain and put it on a piece of paper and it looks just like it did in their brain. I want to tell you that you have a gift and you don't necessarily need to practice like everyone else practices. However, you do need to keep yourself fresh. You do need to hone your skills. It just may not be the same, and that's okay. I never had to learn to draw. I never had to go to different classes and do different things and all this stuff. When I was in high school, I picked up my first art class and as a sophomore, and I did extremely well. I started off in art one. I went to art two. I skipped art three. And I was the first ever in my high school to get a five, which is it was a score, but to get a five on my art portfolio in our high school's history. And I understand that I went to art classes, but it wasn't the practice that helped me pass. It was the continuation of always having another project. Every week for 3 years straight, I had to complete a new project. I didn't go to college for art, finished high school 13 years ago at this point. So it's not this continuation of me being good at art in high school. And so now, therefore, I'm good at art. There's a huge gap in my life where I didn't touch a pen, didn't touch a tablet. I didn't buy a tablet until 2021. I didn't use my tablet until 2023. And for the last 2 years, I've been trying to figure out what to draw, what I like, what I disliked. And now I'm here. I believe that there's some people that have a gift. I think there's some people who develop the skill set. And if you want me to be completely honest with you, I think there's some people that have the skill set that can be and will be better than some people that have the gift because the people with the gift don't understand the power and the value of the practice, of the honing your skill every single day, of the late night sketches and all that stuff. It's the people who have the talent that also embrace the skill set or the skill or the value of developing the skill and the practice that become the goats of any industry. LeBron James isn't LeBron James because he's good at basketball. LeBron James is LeBron James because he was gifted amazing genetics and he practiced basketball. I guarantee that there's people with a better skill set than LeBron James, However, they're not 6'8", 250 pounds with a 45-inch vertical and can run a 4.4 40 time. They might just be really good at dribbling the ball, but they don't have the genetics or the athletic ability to do the things that he can do naturally. And art's no different. A lot of you guys that are listening to this, you have this gift that God gave you where you can pick up a pen and you can draw whatever you see. But I'm telling you, if you want to take your art to the next level and really see what you can become, you got to put it into practice. You got to put it into hours, including myself. I'm not just talking to you guys, I'm also talking to myself in this video. If I want to go to the next level for my art and for my career, I have to be willing to put in the time, put in the man hours, put in the sketches, if I really want to see my art go to that next degree, that next level, and become the artist that I know I can become. So, with that, guys, I hope this video helps. Go ahead and hit the like button, subscribe to the channel, and if you want any digital walkthroughs, step-by-step processes, or just to connect one-on-one or connect period, hit the link in my description for my Patreon. If you want to just support, I would love to be a full-time artist. So if you want to support me on Patreon and just help out, there's a tier for that as well. But if you do want the tutorials and all the access and stuff like that, there's also a tier for you too. So I'll catch you guys in the next video. Peace.